Errors you make when learning. Welcome to Lux Diva, the place to dream, learn, and improve your life. We have all put in our time trying to learn the things we need to know to get ahead in life and achieve our dreams. And while it is sometimes said that making mistakes is a gift because you eventually learn from them, wouldn't it be better to not make the mistakes in the first place? Today, we will go over a few errors people make when learning to help you avoid these pitfalls. Number 1. You try to be completely prepared. You will never know everything there is to know about a subject. You will never be completely prepared. And your work will never be totally finished because there is always room for improvement. There will come a time when you say to yourself, "All right, this is what I know so far." And you will realize it's time to get some outside input. It is beneficial to seek a second opinion in order to identify and resolve any issues. Just don't procrastinate too long. You will only lengthen the time it takes to improve. Number 2. You skip the fundamentals. Everything starts with a good foundation. Nothing exists that doesn't have a basic form. The foundations of walking are learning to stand up without falling over on your face. Deep down, you know this already. You know there are fundamentals, but you make the mistake of thinking they are just too basic and that you can skip them. Even Michael Jordan knows this. He once said, "Get the fundamentals down and the level of everything you do will rise." The truth is, the fundamentals are what everything else is built upon. If you don't know them, then the rest will just collapse down upon you, and you will have wasted both time and effort. Number 3. You don't make it past the honeymoon phase. It is extremely important that you make it past the point when you are totally excited about something because it is all new. Once you know a bit more about something, you will get to a point where you must decide to give up on it or take the deep dive and learn to shine at it. In the beginning, it is all exhilarating, and you experience a surge of energy and excitement. Once the honeymoon period has passed, you discover that all of this is harder than you had expected. You think you might not be suited for it. You get to a crisis point when you wonder if it's worth all the effort. Well, you bounce back and continue to climb, or give up and sink back down into obscurity. Many people give up because they cannot look past the problem that is staring them in the face. They can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So how do you get past the problem? How do you revive your excitement and energy? Unfortunately, everyone is unique, so we can't answer this question for you. You must dig deep and figure it out for yourself. The moment you succeed in overcoming this crisis point, however, is the moment your potential is realized. Number 4. Trying too much at one time. You've discovered something that titillates your interest. You can't get enough of it. You can't remember the last time you were so enthralled by something. Maybe you've found your calling and the search is over. It's a wonderful feeling, but this is when another huge mistake can occur, and your passion will suddenly fade. There is such a thing as overtraining even when it comes to knowledge. You can only handle so much input, and you need the optimal input of learning before it becomes too much and you start to lose your gains. Pace yourself daily doing enough to feel you've made progress, but leaving enough for tomorrow to keep yourself excited. Number 5. You don't have a good yardstick. When nobody is evaluating you, how can you tell if you're succeeding or failing? How can you tell if you are understanding the information or even moving forward? Consider pottery as an illustration. Some folks think they can't sculpt anything at all. Their vases always turn into cups, and they are left wondering why this always happens. To avoid making this error, select various slightly out-of-reach goals that are both feasible and doable. Essentially, you are changing the scale. Instead of measuring by yards or meters, you are now measuring by inches or centimeters. By making and achieving many small steps, you will eventually arrive at the overall goal you are striving for. Number 6. You can't accept your shortcomings. When you are doing something new, you can expect to be bad at it. And in today's world, that is hard to accept. You have been told how great and smart you are, and you got awards despite your failings. The truth is, most of us are not virtuosos that can do things well from the beginning. We have to accept that we won't do well at first. No matter how hard you work, you will get to a point where you stop improving. You are trying everything and you just can't get better. If you persist and double down on the fundamentals, you will ultimately see some progress. But you must understand that you'll struggle at first. Number 7. You don't put it into practice. It might seem obvious, but if you don't use it, you lose it. Let's dig a little deeper and use writing as an example. No matter who you are or what you do, here at LuxStiva, we know writing is an invaluable ability to have, regardless of your career. The ability to put your ideas into words and share your thoughts with others can help you navigate all kinds of treacherous waters. The problem is that despite people knowing how valuable writing is and even wanting to do it, they never seem to get around to doing it. If you want to get better at something, you need to get out there and do it. Number 8. You look for shortcuts. Most people believe there are shortcuts in life, and there are. The snag is that you usually have to pay to use them, and they don't work instantaneously. Because of this, both businesses and individuals have advisors. These are people that have performed the task many times and have a ton of expertise. They can add value and knowledge to the process, and that knowledge speeds it up considerably. However, it only works if you already have access to these kinds of people or know-how. When you first begin, all you can do is do the work and learn from your mistakes. With time and experience, you will be the one that people turn to as their shortcut. Now that you know some of the many mistakes people make when trying to learn, it is our hope you can avoid the pitfalls that we have stumbled into ourselves. When you encounter problems learning, watch this video again and see if you have missed anything. Be sure to like and subscribe to LuxStiva and share in the comments any other problems you have discovered and methods you have come up with to overcome them. In this way, you can help our community members to improve their lives as well. Now it's time for your bonus. You throw out your mistakes. So you made a mistake. You don't want to be reminded of how bad it is. It has rough edges, is unsightly, and lacks polish. Perhaps you hurried a job and bungled it all up. Maybe you're just not getting it, and you keep having the same problems over and over. So what do? You just ball up the paper and throw it out or delete the whole thing. Then you start over from scratch. That is a grave error. If you keep deleting version 1.0, you'll never get version 2.0. You advance by continuous iteration, but you must first have something to iterate on. The best piece of advice on the list may be, don't throw out your mistakes. Keep them as a basis to improve upon. Thank you for joining us here at Lux Diva. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your experiences in the comments section. May you be better than you were yesterday.